Time now for our last call here. The Atlanta Falcons have been fined $250,000, and the team's defensive coordinator fined $100,000 over a prank call that was made to Shedeur Sanders during the NFL draft. The league confirming the fines for the Falcons and Jeff Ulbrich, whose son made the call, for failing to prevent the disclosure of confidential information distributed to the club. The team confirmed that Jax Ulbrich unintentionally came across Sanders' phone number on an open iPad. The Falcons, Jeff Ulbrich, and his son have all since apologized for the incident. Sanders, as a reminder, was selected in the 5th round of the NFL draft by the Cleveland Browns. So I'm going to bring back in my panel here Mike, Ramesh, Heidi, and Tiffany. Ramesh, in your opinion, does this punishment here fit the crime?
I just have to try to imagine the tense conversations in the Ulbrich household over the last couple of days. I do think it's appropriate, actually. And I think the fines seem really large. But then when you think about the kinds of money that goes into the denominator here, you have to make it big for it to matter.
And, you know, Heidi, Sanders' reaction here, you know, he talked a little bit about a childish act here.
And he was incredibly gracious about it, which allegedly is against type, and said, look, it didn't affect me. I'm used to being the target of kind of these kinds of pranks. And, you know, I think there's probably a lot of things that happen in the NFL that are more worthy of a $100,000 penalty. But, you know, they want to curb that behavior. It's never happened before. It's probably not going to happen again. I think the people who did it apologized. And I think graciously Sanders said, look, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, and there have been, you know, other prank phone calls made. The NFL is investigating those. They are unrelated, so we'll see if more fines are to come. I don't know, Tiffany, do you have anything you're anticipating there in terms of that? And I know that you have 3 young boys here that are looking up to all these players and all these people.
Yes, and it's obviously inappropriate, but in some regards, you know, they graciously apologized and, you know, it's wrong. But at the end of the day, I do find it funny that the NFL is launching this investigation into hurt feelings. It's like, come on, you know, ESPN is spending about 20 minutes of every hour talking about these pranks when those who were pranked are clearly over it. So it's a little bit of overkill.
Interesting. Mike, do you think that it's overkill? Because I kind of agree that this storyline, in a way, really overshadowed the entire NFL draft. I mean, none of us are talking about Cam Ward today, which I think is unfortunate.
Yeah, it is, but that's for other reasons, other factors. But I don't think that is overkill. I think that the idea that we have to keep in mind that this was a security breach. This was a data breach. We talk about data security breaches all the time within news, and so we have to treat that as such. Just because it's football players and just because a policy has been issued, that's no different. We don't absolve corporations that have security breaches that say, well, they apologize, it's fine, no big deal. We don't do that. And so I think that we have to adhere and be consistent with the punitive damages that are being assessed. I actually think, Kana, that not only should they have been fined dollar amounts, I also think the defensive coordinator should have sat out a game or 2 for suspension. In regards to Shedeur Sanders, this is one of the biggest moments of a draftee's life. They spend so much from, you know, kindergarten to college hoping for that one phone call. And so that is a very severe action that took place with such a monumental moment that is life-changing for any NFL draftee.
And Mike Me is calling for harsher punishment. All right, I appreciate all of you. That's it for our last call here. Mike, Ramesh, Heidi, and Tiffany.